Hey guys, welcome back to Grim Reaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're looking after yourselves and hopefully you're not going too hard on this fusion. So we're nearly to the weekend and I wanted to do a juicy video. I've kind of realized of a couple of count takeovers and stuff like that we're kind of missing like nukers now on like mid-game accounts and early game accounts and sometimes even late game accounts if they just come back from breaks and missed out on the free nukers in Raidshadowlegends. So I want to cover today a free legendary champion. I will drop timestamps down below if you want to go ahead and get to the juicy parts. We're going to go for a kit first. I've never done a video on her. I never really built her out. I have built her out for this video. I'm talking about Cleo. So we're going to call her Cleo because I can't pronounce the name, I'm not going to lie. She looks really cool and she was quite recently a new champion within like last 2 years or so. We all get her for free from the login, so it doesn't matter whenever you play this game, this video will always be relevant to this. So kind of a cool champion, right? Hits fairly hard, has good multipliers, but again I'll show you all of this in the damage test and the builds and everything that we're hovering. Anyway, so let's take a look at the kit quickly. To attack one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a weaken for 2 turns and a chance to increase if the target is under a hex debuff. Places a veil on this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy under a hex. Kind of a bit of niche, but you know, veil on a1 is pretty strong if she gets that kill, but the problem is in the arena it won't really get a chance to kind of take that off, especially in classic and stuff like that. But she definitely could be used as a little bit of utility nuker for live, right, with that ability. And then on the A2 she'll place a 30% in critical rate on herself and in critical damage on herself, so that's good news because it means you can build her a 70% critical rate and then she'll basically be critting throughout the whole fight. That's a big ability just there. I'll attack a champion for 2 turns, then attack all enemies on the champion for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies and has a 75% chance, 100% chance was blocked. Placing a blocked up to skill debuff for 2 turns on an enemy under hex, which is pretty cool, right? It's something that is quite possible as a nice lockout champion, especially for live arena. I think this is more of a live arena ability, really, when maybe you can use like the CC apart of her to do that, but the problem is it's probably trying to get it off, which is the problem. Blocked up with skills is pretty strong in the day. The critical rate, critical damage is pretty nice. And then she'll have a AoE as well again here, so she has 2 AoEs, which is super juicy. Places a 50% increase accuracy on this champion for 2 turns, and then attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance for 3 turns. Master Hexer as well to extend that for 30% chance. This will be 100% chance what's blocked on a 4-turn cooldown. Also has a 100% chance of placing fear debuff for 1 turn instead on enemies under hex. Okay, so you have to land the hex and then you can land the fears, right? That's pretty much what they're saying. It's kind of a hard one on how you build it, and I think it's depending on how you build it and how you use a kit. There's 2 ways where I'm thinking where we can use a kit, right? For example, for Classic Arena, which is where we're going to showcase her today, I would build her with 70% critical rate, right? So she hits harder. I think she's a great champion as well for 3 versus 3. Definitely other content as well, like Doom Tower, Curse City. I've used her in Curse City. And what else can you use her? You can also use her in pretty somewhere else. Faction Wars as well should be pretty strong. CC, right, for the waves, etc. So yeah, for like P versus E content or for live arena content, I would probably build her at 100% critical rate just so I can do this ability first, and then with the increased accuracy, and then so we can crit as well, right? Try and kill like the nukers at least, land the hex, and then try and do the second ability, which will give you the critical damage buff as well, and try and lock them out, right? For Classic Arena, I would probably go critical rate first, and then the hex, because like I'm not worrying about CCing them so much, I can bring another champion to do that for me for a classic arena or for 3 versus 3. I just want her to nuke, right? That's her main responsibility. And even if you wanted her to CC, let's say you want to go as Arb into Lysandra, into her to do the lockdown, you still have to place Hex. So you still need that whole rotation to get back round. And most likely you'll be dead as well. So as one of the abilities, I think for Live Arena she could definitely do this. And then do this as like a second CC champion. You'd need her a different CC champion. The only way you could do is if you take a like a Hex champion before her and use a Hex champion. There's quite a few Hex champions in Raid right now, even Epics in all fairness. So you can go Arb into Lysandra, then AoE Hex, and then she can do this ability. The problem is it's going to be sheep, right? So high level arena is definitely not a strategy. Some this build is more more towards in-game and late game builds, right? But just take that into consideration and the recommendations that we put there. Anyway, as I'm just going to move myself here, she got fairly good base attack, fairly good speed, and then like everything else is looking fairly good. So not too bad right now. So I think the highest attack in the game is like 1,900, which is a mythical, which is Carnage. So yeah, let's go and have a look in Arena. So before we go in Arena, let's do a damage test in Dragon. We're going to go ahead into Dragon 10 and do a damage test here today. I kind of think it's more full-fitting. And what I've done actually as well is we've actually put a hex set on Venus. And I wanted to see like how juicy the A2 can be, right? If you bring that option, and I kind of wanted to show this because I already had a hit built for Hydra, right? So let's do the AoE. We have that we have 2 hex abilities, right? My Cleo is fully booked, so there's a 100% chance unless we get resisted. I don't actually have much accuracy on her, so that's one thing that could be a problem. So let's go ahead. Okay, so like 180 across the board. That's actually pretty impressive. Obviously, we got defense down, weaken, and increased attack as well. She's also giving herself the increased critical damage and critical rate. So we're really maximizing our build. Let's go ahead and go back into it. I want to kind of just look at the A3 on the multipliers. Oh, it's worth noting actually, like I should have built a 100% critical rate. So let's do the A2 again. Right, so my Venus is slapping for like 70, 80 million, right? Let's do this ability first. Yeah, I mean 177 to 117. Bear in mind, it's just Dragon 10 hard. Honestly, it's not too bad. Not the best nuker in the world, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to showcase this as a platinum push champion. End of the day, she's a free champion. But honestly, don't think we could be too upset. So we have got quite a lot already on there. So she will do an increased accuracy. We'll see the hex come in, and we'll see some fear as well. So like 130 to 200 across the board there. She does wipe enough the whole wave. Honestly, not too shabby at all. So anyway, let's go take her into the arena. Actually, let's do the A1 quickly. I don't really care to think about the A1 too much. Let's have a little look. 150 on the A1. Not too shabby. Right, let's go take a head in the arena then, and we'll take a look there. Right, so we are back. We're going to take a look at Mortu Macabre. This team here. We've got quite a few good teams here. We're halfway through gold, so we've got some juicy stuff. We need to be careful of this pig for sure. Can be quite annoying. Champion. Hopefully we don't get petrification as well. And hopefully just do our job right. So we lose our bolster set already. It looks like we've lost our bolster set from somewhere, which is interesting because I didn't think we could lose a bolster set. And there's no bolster set out somewhere else. So that does not look good to me. We definitely just lost some other buffs here as well. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll do AoE. We will put allow protection here because we're not crit capped. We'll go ahead and sheep Mortu Macabre. and Mafala will do a thing. Then we'll do the A3. So there's reaction there, which is a bit of a bomber. A stun set definitely do its jobs there. So honestly, well, Piggage now just took the block buff as well. Honestly, he's been quite lucky. He's took quite a few buffs on me, which is not what I really want to see. It's not ideal for sure. And honestly, that stun set. I wish that stun set would proc like this in Curse City. Because I tell you now, Curse City and stun set. So it's a shame that it doesn't work for me like that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take him away from here. We've got everyone else down. Going to go ahead and sheep UDK there. Just to kind of help me out with this. And it looks like we're set sailing. We're going to go ahead and hit auto. Cleo doing her magic here. Obviously good affinity to most. And obviously Necrod's quite important. Necrod is good with pretty much any tap-based nuker. And the tap-based nuker needs a bit of protection from people for sure. So like right champions, like if you're going to use speed team for example, which I suppose is what we're using, right? It is a speed team. 58k there on A2 as well, which is not too shabby. Is pretty key, right? So for example, like actually we got 3 bad affinities for here, so we shouldn't really attack like a team like this with Cleo, but we're gonna go ahead and use Duchess here. We should be faster in the day, so we use Duchess here, and then we'll just probably use someone that is gonna help me here, but is not gonna be too OP. I suppose Queen. We will use the fusion because he's a fusion champion, but Duchess is a good example how to protect her because of the veils, right? Especially if your Duchess is fast. You do generally want a Duchess fast on the offensive side. So Duchess is going to come in, do her speed. We'll protect her Queen as well because she's got her shields. We're going to go ahead to do that. We did proc some reaction on Duchess there, which is a shame. You can tell it's not the best built Duchess because like the HP is quite low. So unfortunately, she's got about 80,000 HP. Like she's getting destroyed there, and I don't even think she's got 80,000 HP. Is she even geared? Imagine if you're not geared. 92k there on a defense-based champion. I don't even think she's geared. That's pretty. That's pretty poor, right? Like that's not a nice thing to see. We've got Taurus here, actually. We could play around with Taurus and see what Taurus can do for us. I'm going to go ahead and bring in him. We're going to go ahead and bring Necrid back in. Necrid will be key for this one because, like, Taurus slaps hard. One of the hardest base heated champions in the game. We'll bring my Sifi in as well. Actually, there's no point really bringing in Sifi, if I'm honest, so let's just bring in a Warlord. Warlord is always nice to bring in. We need to make sure it's a Stone Skin Warlord. It's worth pointing out, like, Sifi will just get feared because of the affinity, which can be a bit annoying, if I'm honest. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to drop the turn meter. We're going to go ahead and do lockout there. We'll try to get some damage. No, Necrid gets feared. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and try and sheep UDK, which we do. They will come in with the A2. Cleared. Nice. Hits pretty fairly good. We'll come into UDK. So good affinity into UDK, right? Which is juicy. We'll come in and do this ability here. And then Mrs. Cleo is going to come in. Honestly, we don't fish Taurus, but that's fine. And like so. So this is the way that I'd use her. I'd go to A2 to A3, just so we could benefit from the buffs on her. And as a nuker point of view, for me, that is the way I would use her, as a nuker point of view. We suppose I can go ahead and try and showcase her as like a CC version now, against the right team if we can find one. I suppose this one is not too bad if I can lock off. I suppose Halicaf is probably a problem, right? So I would have to try and do what we could do. But in the day, we've got CC here. So we have got some type of form of CC. So it might be like, say for example, you use him to do the AoE stun. Then instead of you doing a sheep, we just do the A1. You know that they got like a bolster set, for example. They're going to be quite tanky, so you want to protect yourself. So you might want to do the A2 instead, for example, like that. We still hit pretty hard, in all fairness, which is fairly good. I think we got like 83 critical rate on her or something like that. I think if you wanted to use this, you could build a 100% critical rate. Just bear in mind, like, I would always try and take a benefit of a critical rate buff on the nukas if you can. We're going to go ahead and go into her because she's strong affinity for us. Just a bit of a nuisance. We're going to go ahead and do a stun again. So unfortunately, we didn't actually land any hex. I suppose it's because we just don't have enough accuracy. So we're not going to lock out anyone here, unfortunately. Which is a bit, you know, meh. But it is what it is. I do the A1. I suppose, like, we've won this already. Like, we can see that we won this. And I'm not too bad. 41k there. Then it's just a case of just waiting for Mr. Torment to kind of die and we kind of carry on doing our thing as well and be done with it. So I don't think Skinwalker Faction's open, so I don't think we can really go and test her in there. If I'm honest. And I've done all my keys, so there's quite a few one-man teams I'm tempted to hit. Level 72. Okay, so we actually have a fairly good team here. Like, this is a bit of a crazy team. We will struggle to take down in Harmony quite well, which would be something interesting. I think we could go ahead and honestly drop Necrid and maybe bring in mine, right? Like, increase accuracy before she takes a turn. That might be quite good. And also ally attack as well. She'll bring you increased attack. So, like, yeah, I mean, she honestly, Lady M is pretty OP for a lot of things, if I'm honest. Massively undervalued for sure. So we're gonna do an AoE here. We're gonna go ahead and do ally attack into her. Then we're gonna go ahead and sheep him. Gonna probably transform and try stun me now. She's actually good affinity against Lady M, right? So the potential of weak hittings is quite high. That's one thing to kind of look at. One shot, not a problem. One shot in is what we like to do. Cleo is pretty juicy. Honestly, this team, like, he's trying to basically just stall us, right? And trying to be a bit of a nuisance. So this will be, it's not like a proper team that you want to be worried about, but this guy basically is just trying not to be hit and trying to stall you for like a couple of minutes, right? And frustrate you and try and get a win like that. So, or he's just very lazy to build a proper defense, I suppose. Maybe he thinks that the annoying champions are a way to go. Kind of maybe forgot about team synergy a little bit, maybe. Anyway, we're AoE stun. So you can see actually there I've got the mastery as well for the extra damage. So we did hit Duchess there for like 113 to 83k. So I can't really compare her to any other nukas because, like, in the day, like, they do quite a bit. I suppose we can go and throw Monkey in here, right? Because I suppose a lot of people stopped using Cleo because Monkey came out, Ronda came out. Like, they're both great champions, and honestly, they both are probably better than her. But what I do like about Cleo is great for that 3 versus 3 flexibility. She's a free champion. And again, there is people that don't have Monkey King, and there is people out there that don't have a Ronda. I think, to be fair, if you have a Monkey King, maybe you don't look into her as much because they're both Spirit and they're both Skinwalker as well. So it depends on how you kind of feel. I think maybe Cleo could be stronger against UDK teams, in all fairness, as well, because of not being it being an AoE hitter. 2 AoE hits is quite effective against UDK. It's a little bit of a waste to use a UDK, in all fairness. So, right, we're gonna go ahead, buff up. We're gonna try to do AoE stuns. We don't. So this is important, right? I don't want to try and sheep anyone, because let's say, for example, I sheep Duchess. I haven't locked her out. So if I sheep Taurus right now, I haven't locked him out. And when he's unsheeped, he's still gonna have all his abilities, right? So it's pretty much want to do whatever I want to do. We're gonna try to get some hits here. We do get some reaction at procs on Sifi there, and then there's high resist Duchess as well, which is what it is. And then we just want to try and overlap as much as possible. So, and just keep trying to recycle through abilities, which is just what this guy's good at. A little bit too OP for my liking, but you know, in the day, is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. UDK is so OP with high resist builds because of like the continuous heals, the shields that you can bring, which is pretty nice. Try sheep again. No, but we do strip. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a 3% or anything like that. Let me go ahead. Let's do AoE lockout. We don't get Duchess, which is a bit annoying. You say we're starting to just nag away a little bit here. Honestly, I think Duchess might have got locked out in UDK because I'm not seeing her try to do the Veils or anything, which is interesting. So I think maybe we're quite equal in like accuracy and resistance there. Yeah, we didn't get a turn meter there. I don't think there's much accuracy difference between the Warlord here and him. If I remember correctly, I can't remember. Well, there's the Veils anyway, which we'll just go ahead and try sheep and strip. This is a bit of a long one. So she could definitely stay alive. Like, our team is quite squishy. If you build the correct team around her, we can definitely stay alive. I don't think there's much sheep, in all fairness. There was a 6-star sheep in here, and I got sheeped earlier on a 2 stars. So it's a funny thing sometimes. Hey ho. We'll put back down like so. Honestly, I think maybe I should have brought in the increased attack, which would have been very useful. Do a relockout. I'm gonna speed up this fight a little bit, and I will see you after this. We're gonna play it out. Damn, so that was a bit of a long fight. That high resist really kind of screwed us up there. I was in there for like 5 minutes, man. Like, whew. High resistance. It's definitely something to annoying. I definitely should have brought in Lady Makage on that one. If I knew it was high resistance, I would have brought that accuracy up. So I think there is probably like one more team that we can look into, maybe. We have like Monkey here, which is a bit annoying. It's a bit last cannon team as well. Ifala. Definitely not strong enough for Taurus and Rishgon, unfortunately. Honestly, there's not like a lot of good teams down here. I'm actually not that far off plat, and I'm surprised that there is not a few better teams. I know a store team here. Okay. I mean, we'll try it, right? I think maybe I should have brought in Lady M there. For increased accuracy. Ah, you know when you see a bolster set, you just kind of think king, queen. So I've got high resistance across everyone. It's gonna be another high resistance. Maybe not that high then. There's the shield. Oh, she just lands. Okay, fair enough. We'll do our bit here. Again, a full tank team, right? So we've got other things to kind of worry about. Done quite a bit of damage there, slowly and surely. Where's our block buffs? Here we go. That will protect us a little bit, which is what we generally need. We should overlap by quite a bit. Like so. So as you can see, like the team is quite fairly good. Like we're overlapping quite a bit. Not much to kind of worry about. We're gonna go ahead and use sheep just to kind of decrease the HP a little bit. Python honestly is just annoying as well with the cleanse, etc. So kind of wish we could cheap her a little bit, but it is what it is. Then we come through. Do this. Do that. Probably won't get it, but we can strip the... That's a good thing as well that you can do as well with using for the strip ability, right? Try and do this. We not want to hit Mafala. See if we can do, yep, AoE. Like so. She's kept the critical rate down on her pretty much the whole fight, which is pretty nice. And you can see, I know it's a 2-minute fight, but we are breaking through this team at some point. It's honestly, again, this guy is just trying to be a stall and just trying to grab some few extra wins, or just really just people avoid him with a stall team. So yeah, there we are. Cleo coming in with 424k there. Pretty a decent amount of damage. So let me go ahead to show you the kit, and not the kit, but the masteries, the builds, and we'll talk about the blessings, etc. And we'll go over a few bits and bobs. Okay, so this is Cleo's build. So first of all, let's talk about set. Merciless is basically a great, it's like a better version of Savage. So don't look at the set and think, oh, it kind of just throws you off using it. Just crack on and do what you need to do here. So Savage, Cruel, Lethal, Cruel. You can even go Precision, Savage if you want to build an extra accuracy on her. Go for like 250 accuracy if you wanted to kind of utilize the fear and the block out buffs and stuff like that. Bear in mind she's got increased accuracy a little bit in her kit. So yeah. And then through her kit, we've got our attack. You can also go accuracy if you want. Critical damage here with critical damage ascended would be pretty nice. Attack ring. Refresh is always pretty nice for offensive. And also as well, reaction. If you don't have like a neck rid or stuff, got speed boots here. You can go attack boots for no speed. Attack percentage chests. Critical damage gloves. Critical rate. Critical damage. And then critical rate and critical damage as well. So overall, the stats are looking at of 6,340 not one, speed of 216, again over 317 critical damage. You could use like C-Feet into Arbright and bring the increased attack, or Lady M to bring that increased attack as well on her ally attack. And that would increase her attack by quite a bit, because it would give her 50% attack, which would take her towards like the 10,000 attack there. We do have for level 3 star blessing, so we're quite lucky. That's going to be the harvest cast for me, which is my favorite one on favorite champion right now. Blessing on champions right now for Nukas for arena. I would also like point out she does put 2 buffs on herself on an 8-2, and she puts the increased accuracy on herself a 3. So she does automatically put 3 buffs on herself. And if you bring someone like a Sifi and an Arb, Sifi will bring you 3, and then Arb will bring you 1 more. That is 7 buffs. So then you can kind of stack the damage pretty high. So for a 3-star, I will get a 7% extra debuff on that, unless it's capped in any way, which it doesn't say it's capped. So that's pretty juicy. Let's say you had a level 6 Cleo, then you could say that's actually 14% damage. That's actually quite huge. So for the masteries then, we would come in with Hound Smasher tier 6. Obviously, that's pretty key. Cycle of Violence, because if you're losing like Savage and stuff like that, then it's pretty key to use that. Optimus, because we're using AoE stun, so we do get increased damage of 12%. We do have Ruthless Ambush to kind of help us out. Shield Breaker as well, because we are going up against like a lot of shield champions. That's why we took on champions like Mafala, UDK, just to try and increase our damage by 25% on top of everything else here. And then I did go down for the accuracy support side. Just found it was more utility, and then Master Hexer is the way to go there. So there we are. There is Cleo in her all in her glory, in probably one of my best sets in her. Honestly, I could have beefed up my stats a little bit more if I took Monkey's gear off him and put it onto her. I could have beefed up a bit more. And obviously, we've still got some ascending. I would probably, the only thing that I would pick up on my build where you guys should go a bit heavier, especially if you're not using increased attack, is I would probably go 70% here, like 270, 280. She will take herself to 300. And then I would probably stack the attack towards 7,000, 7,500 if you have that level 2 blessing, or if you have in some type of empowerment as well. You can see here in Guardian Faction, I'm actually missing the 10 speed from Guardian Faction, which overall is a little bit, does affect your build a little bit, which is one thing that you kind of want to take note of. We do have Law still, actually, I believe, on my build to give me a little bit of extra critical damage on the masteries. I think it gives me 2 extra critical damage, which is pretty nice. And that's about it, really. There is for me, there is my Cleo build, and that's the way I'd build her and the way I'd use her, right? Great champion overall. I do love using this champion for overall progression in Curse City. I've used on 2 rotations, I believe. So yeah, there we are, guys. Thank you to watching to all the way to the end. As usual, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It does help to support my channel and for me to keep releasing videos on a daily basis. And that's it about me. Let me know down in the comments what champion showcase you want to see next, or what teams do you want me to focus on, or where to focus on late game to end game content. And we'll definitely look at that. Maybe you want to see some Hydra teams on certain Hydra champions, or champions as a bit different. So yeah, let me know down your thoughts in the comments, and it would be really interesting to see what you guys are thinking and would like to see. Anyway, guys, I've been Grim Reaper. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.